Hello there, and welcome back to my channel, Novice Modelling and the Midlife Crisis. Andy here, and we're running through my completed builds from middle of April. That's how long it takes me to do these things, which I entitled Land of the Rising Sun Week, where I tried to build 10 kits in 10 days. I didn't really get there, obviously, because, well, it's the middle of June. But we've actually managed to finish these now, so I thought I'd show you what we actually achieved, or whatever. So this particular one is our RS Models Kawanishi E15K1 Shiun. And as you can see, I am moving on to my Asahi Dry. I have one bottle of this saved from that week. Incidentally, it's a Japanese lager, obviously, but it's actually brewed in Italy by Peroni. So let's crack this bad boy open. Take a swig. And now we'll talk about the model. And we got some spillage. Never mind. So basically this kit comes with, as you can see, a cool little trailer for pulling it in and out of the water. This was an experimental aircraft, if I remember rightly. Basically, it's experimental as in the floats can actually be ejected. And then it can be flown as a regular aircraft. Obviously, then you're getting less drag, so it goes a lot faster without the floats. That was the idea. It didn't really work out too well because, well, it doesn't actually have any wheels, so I'm not quite sure how it's supposed to land. So the idea, I think, is to save the pilots from getting attacked and downed on a slow aircraft by turning it into a fast aircraft, but then basically you end up losing the plane anyway because belly landings don't normally go too well. Maybe the pilots didn't suffer too well either. So as you can see, we've got we've managed to get it pretty much correct. I'm just going to turn this over so we can have a look at the painting diagrams. I actually attempted to paint this one up as Imperial Japanese Navy Cruiser Oyodo 1944. And we have the correct tail markings, or one of the correct sets of tail markings of that one, 150-01. The colour is slightly different to standard Japanese aircraft. I think this is actually Japanese Army green for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. It does actually come with a slightly different colour underneath as well, which this is Japanese Navy grey, I think, by Tamiya. It's a slightly more greeny colour. Unfortunately, as you can see, the underneath red markings here, well, basically what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to cut the markings up. So as you can see, this part of the float here, this float detaches and this part retracts into the wing if they are jettisoned. And you need to cut them out. And I was just like, I'm not even going to try and cut these flimsy decals up to do this. So I've just put them here because that makes a lot more sense to me with my basic knowledge of adapting decals for whatever reason. So we also had a bit of an issue. There was supposed to be some sort of retaining rods here coming from there to there. Unfortunately, we managed to break two of those almost straight away when we tried to remove them from the sprue. I've just noticed I've got a little bit of green on there as well. I might have to do something about that. Also, we kind of made a mess of our propeller. For some reason, we painted the propeller cone here grey. I'm not quite sure why we did that because it's quite clearly brown there. We also didn't take the black anti-glare back quite far enough. I don't think it should be a little bit further back, but I'm a novice, so basically you'll have to excuse my little errors in correct interpretation of how these things are supposed to be set up. But I mean, otherwise, I think I did an okay kind of job of it. Apart from our issue with the floats, our issue with this, and our issues with lots of other things. But there we go. Like I said in one of my other videos, the reason why I chose to do Japanese aircraft is because they do actually come with this quite nice sort of one colour on top, one colour on bottom, which is kind of, I found it kind of useful for using, trying to learn how to use the airbrush, because you're not having to faff around with doing slightly more complicated camouflage markings. However, what I didn't realise was that most Japanese aircraft have these incredibly intricate canopy covers, and they have a lot of painting that is required on there, and I must admit I struggled with that. I tried several different ways: scratching, masking with tape, masking with the Humbrol stuff that you put on them, and this is one of the better attempts, I think. There was a lot of swearing involved in trying to get these canopy covers right. So Japanese aircraft for a novice are good for painting practice on for using your airbrush, trying to learn how to use the airbrush. But trying to do these canopies, they're a real pain in the bum. I'll quite happily admit that. But as for the actual painting itself, I think I did an okay job. It kind of looks kind of reasonable to me. I'm quite happy with it. I'm kind of struggling with this whole sort of where the paints meet on a lot of the kits that I'm doing. It's kind of difficult to get a good line on them. So if anyone's got any tips on that, I mean, I am masking. I do go heavy mask on these because I'm concerned about sort of overspraying one colour onto the green onto the bottom. So I do mask these things off quite heavily, but I'm getting a lot of this untidiness, which obviously, if you pay a lot of attention, a lot of care, and you invest a lot of time, you can paint and paint and paint and paint and get these things a lot better. But yeah, I'm happy with it at the end of the day. I think it looks pretty cool. Float planes, in my opinion, are awesome. So there we go. We're on 6 minutes. I don't want to take too much of your time. As per what we were doing at the time, we were eating Japanese treats. So I've got these things which have a monkey and a lemon on them. So I'm going to guess that they taste of lemon, and hopefully they don't taste of monkey. They taste like lemon. I don't know what monkey tastes like, incidentally, but lemon's good for me. So there we go. Please do like and subscribe, and follow me for my novice model building ride. I can assure you we are trying harder and we are going to get better at building these, but I think this is pretty good. I'm happy with it. Be seeing you.